Assign me to write 10 pages. Okay. How does 10 pages of kindergartner tablature paper sound? In high school, I wasn't a bad kid, per se. Mainly bored, unmotivated, with untreated trauma, severely depressed and dealing with a host of maladaptive coping mechanisms. I rarely got in too much trouble. Nothing more than having to write a couple of pages or detention the 2 to 3 times I was assigned it. Over the 4 years I was a student there. But during one stretch of dealing with a new medication that made it impossible to wake up in time. In the mornings, I was tardy several times. As this was around 2000 to 2004. See above. Maladaptive coping mechanisms, mainly of the chemical type, makes it a blur. I don't quite remember how many times. But it was enough that I got assigned to write 10 pages. Front and back is 1 page by one of the assistant principals, Mr. B. He was kind of a hard ass. 30+ years as a military police officer will do that. But he was incredibly kind and actually gave a damn about every single student there. For instance, he would walk me to class to tell the teacher not to mark me late when I spent the whole class change period talking to him. Because if I was talking to him, the bullies would stay far, far away, which he knew. Many meetings with other parents, administrators, Board of Education yielded no results. So this was a better than nothing solution in a shitty situations. Something Mr. B was happy to help with however he could. Anyways, I ended up with a scathingly brilliant idea. See, at this time, my sister and my niece were living with my parents and me. My niece was in kindergarten at the time. So on my way home from school, remembering the tablature paper kids use when they first learn how to write, I stopped by a dollar store to pick up a notebook. It took me about 15 minutes to do those 10 pages. So I put them in my bag and got to the rest of the evening. The next day, I handed these pages into Mr. B. He looked at them, and then me, and back to them a couple of times before he started laughing and shaking his head. You get one. Diapason. Do I have to spell every single thing out and not leave any room at all for a loophole with you? I just shrugged and pointed to my pages. I also got assigned pages on college ruled only from thenceforward. Military guys tend to appreciate malicious compliance. This is just the right level of malice and compliance. Great job, Op. I guarantee that this guy still laughs about your 10 pages. Well done, Op. I have never seen somebody use an interrobang on Reddit. Take an upvote just for the novelty. I hated writing for punishment. I had one teacher that would make you write, "I will pay attention in class," or, "I will not talk in class," or my favorite, "I will sit still in class." You get the idea. 100 times. I, 44F, was an unmedicated 8 years old with ADHD back in the early 80s before ADHD was widely diagnosed, especially in females. Back then it was commonly believed that ADHD only occurred in boys. My report cards from elementary school are all the same. AB honor roll with lots of DeWiki 76 fails to use her time wisely. She is disruptive, fails to pay attention, and talks too much to her peers. You'd think someone would have realized what was up. But I didn't get an official diagnosis of ADHD until I was 28 years old. 10 pages as 10 pages smiley face. Sometimes it's the strict teachers that care the most. It seems that Mr. B left a lasting positive impression upon you, and thus he is a success in my book. Did you use crayons? As a vet myself, I laughed at this. Pretty good, Op. Pretty damn good. Haha, Brilliant idea, mate. Good for you. In high school we had to write 10 A4 pages front and back for homework every day for a whole year. I used to write the first 1 to 2 pages normally and then gradually made the letters bigger and bigger. It still took quite a lot of time. I wrote on the bus. I wrote at dinner. I wrote in bed under the blanket. And I ended up wearing glasses. The trouble with angels. Listen, I've got a scathingly brilliant idea. Quote. Well played. I also wish more admin were like your principal that gave a damn and command respect and/or fear from the students. But did you write on the pages in crayon? I mean, that would have been the proper way for bonus points. Damn. Are you me? I had a similar high school experience with mental illness and BCI was always on medication. I can hardly even remember it lol. I do remember being late and then sleeping through most classes but still getting decent grades too. My teacher's chagrin. Upvoted for the interrobang alone. Vastly underused punctuation. In school the teachers made us type papers. But they'd tell us the fonts and margins. You could still get away with squeezing them a little if you knew what you were doing. But they caught on to the basics by that point. Upvote for the use of the interrobang. The man knows MC when he sees it and knows he was beat. But only this once will you get away with it. If he's that kind and cares about students, he wouldn't be punishing you for being on medication.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.